So, in my recent video, I just talked about religion and how people use it to cope with negative emotions. So, I decided to make just a whole video on religion. Everything about it. Just everything. Raw video on everything. Okay, let's get down to it. Drink my coconut mango juice. Okay, that's good. That's really good. So, where do I start? People, low self-esteem people, quiet people, introverts, bad people who have done bad things to good people, all become Christian. Want to know why? Because a little man in a building tells those bad people or good people with problems that they can be saved by an invisible man in the sky if they read a book and follow the rules in the book. But if they don't read the book, when they die, they're going to be punished forever. Seems like a little bit of a threat. So, those people who know that they haven't done anything good in their life, or someone's done something bad to them and they feel responsible, or someone's done something bad and they feel responsible, they're going to listen because you just threatened them and said, if they don't do this, this won't happen. It's prize and reward, totally. The prize and reward thing in psychology. You do something to get a prize. Just like the mouse in the box who presses the button to get food. Christians are reading a book and following what that book says to get to heaven. So they can get the reward of a perfect place that they're promised. And there's no proof. And there's been so many child molestation charges. If you go on the news, anywhere on the internet, and you type in, like I said in the last video, you'll find dozens of them. Just look them up. So, these people who have these problems, I want to get more into it. These people either are ex-drinkers, ex-smokers, ex-drug users, or ex-abusers. The other things they could be: quiet people who never made friends because they were strange and weird, disabled people who never made friends because they were disabled, mentally challenged people because they were mentally challenged, outcasts, just outcasts in general. And last but not least, people who were picked on by their families, and outcasts, just in general, outcasts. Outcasts go to church to get a reward, and that reward is heaven. But has anyone ever gone to heaven and come back down and say, hey, heaven's real? No! And then rationalization comes in. That's when you're wrong about something, but then you rationalize what you're talking about to make it sound right, to make what you're saying sound correct. Like if I said cheese is blue, and then someone corrected me and said, oh no, cheese is yellow, or it could be white. Then you say, well, the wrong person will say, well, if you live in this country and it's this temperature and it's this, they're rationalizing. They're trying to be right when they're wrong. Every fucking Christian I've met does that. They do that. On Facebook, someone posted all gay people are child molesters. So I gave like a laundry list of what's wrong with religion, and you know the response I got. The response was, "You're wrong." I'm like, okay, I just gave all that evidence, and you said, "You're wrong." I didn't reply. Because the best thing you can do is not reply. Because if you just keep replying, it's fueling the fire to continue the bad conversation. So don't do that. Those are really good. Today at Whole Foods, I paid extra money for white chia seeds because I thought they were different. I thought they were healthier than black chia seeds. Fuck. I paid $2. $2 extra. Doesn't make much of a difference. Ex-drug users. These make me laugh so fucking hard. I don't know if you know people who have done this, but you've known them all your life. They always talk about drinking alcohol, or getting high, or getting into a fight, or they're racist as hell, and they're just rude. And then the next day, they become a Christian, a born-again Christian. And then you're like, what the fuck? What? When did this happen? And you're like, what? And they're only doing it because they think they're being forgiven by an unknown source, because believing everything you do is mental. Christians have to understand this. All the Christian and Catholic religion is giving someone who has no hope. That's all it does. And that's great. It's good to give a person hope. But there are other ways to get hope. If you don't have anyone to look up to yourself. That's what I did growing up. I told myself, life will go on. You will continue. You will keep going. And I kept going. I didn't need to go, God, what do I do next? What do I do next? What do I do? Oh, thanks. No. Because when you go, what do I do next? You're going to think of something in your head to do next. There's nothing telling you what to do next. You are mentally thinking what to do next. But since you talked to yourself and you think you were talking to something else, it gave you ideas. It gave you hope to keep going. That's why my grandma passed chemo. Oh, got a call. Hold on. I'm going to censor that part out. And I did. So, I want to give a few examples. Christianity. Just a few. One, I want to say that it's like I said in the last video, it is a way for the higher-ups to make money. And I'm not crazy. It's a completely logical thing to say. I'm not a conspiracy theorist type of person. This is hard proof evidence. You can see it when you walk into a church and they ask you for money, when a church is supposed to be a place to pray to a guy that's in the sky. Why do you have to pay to get a membership to a church? Oh, what's that random person on the internet? You're saying you don't need a membership to a church? Actually, you do. Because church people can actually be very pushy. You may not think that, but what happens when everyone else in the church donates for a year and you don't for a year? What are those people going to think of you? No matter what, it will always be a social situation where you're trying to fit into a group. When people join a church, they're literally meeting other people that will be nice to them, and those people will be nice to those people. It's a group of people being nice to a group of people, because those people never met anyone who were nice to them. So it's all the rejects and all the bad people meeting up in one place, being hypnotized into being good and nice to each other, when in reality, we could possibly just make people nice to each other without them having to be Christian. But the hypnotic part is tricking them with the Bible. That's the part when hypnotism comes in. You have to break something down to build it up. And the way you break down people is you turn them Christian. You threaten them with something bad that will happen if they don't do something good, something that you want them to do. You tell them that there's a hell and then there's a heaven. And you'll go to the hell if you don't do what we want. If you don't read the Bible, if you don't follow the rules in the Bible, you're going to go to hell. And everyone's going to be, well, we better read the Bible. We better donate to this church. Anyone could be a priest or a minister or a pastor. It's all a scam. But Christians still think it's a real thing. I once had a Christian rationalize something I said about, if God lives in all of us, then why do we have to pay money to a building? And he just says, well, that way we can go in the building and pray to God. And then I said, well then, why don't we just have a really crappy building and make it a church? It doesn't have to be funded or anything. It will still be a church. It will be blessed by the priest. And he said, well, we need the money to... And then he got distracted and he walked away. Yeah. There's no good answer for why they have to spend millions of dollars on a building, when really, I won't give the name, the church my grandma goes to, the priest gave $1,000 to her. Where the fuck did he get $1,000? Maybe it was from church money, because that's what churches do. All those little baskets you pass around, the pastors get to keep some of the money. How do you think pastors make a living? Do you think they have side jobs? No. They get like half the money you put in that basket and pass around. You're literally handing your money over to a guy. You're not giving it to God. You're not giving it to that building. He decides what that money goes to. He puts half of it to the building, not even half, and then he uses the rest on himself. That's what all pastors do. It's the truth. And any Christian will say, oh, that's not true. But they can't disprove it. There's no way to disprove it. There's so much evidence out there, it's ridiculous. So try to disprove what I just said. Anyone in comments that you watch this video, try to disprove anything I just said and tell me I'm wrong, because everything is documented by news and by articles on the internet. It's already happened. All these scams and rapes from church and wars have happened because of religion. The Dark Ages happened because of religion. Everything happens because of religion. If there was no religion, nothing fucking bad would happen. Bad things would happen. But a shit wad load of things would not happen if religion did not exist. People would not segregate from other people. People would be nicer to each other. People wouldn't argue so much. People would just get along. Religion has caused so much pain. So much pain. Just do research on a religion before you become it. I like the Buddhism religion because you're not like, sure, you're bowing to Buddha, but you're not, how do I explain this in a way it won't sound, the Buddha religion, you're not supposed to believe, I don't do the Buddha religion, you're not supposed to believe what your peers say, you're not supposed to believe what your parents say, you're not supposed to believe what your grandparents say. Nothing is determined by age, everything is determined by your experience and your views. You should base your life on your views, how you think, and not be controlled by other people's views. That is from the Buddha religion. And I think that is a wonderful statement, regardless if it's a religion. I think that is a wonderful statement. You think for yourself. You're not told how to think. You think for yourself. And it doesn't after that say, pray to Buddha. It just says, think for yourself. And one other thing that I like is that Christians say that they're spiritual. They aren't. If you've ever meditated and done third eye exercises, that's spiritual. That's very spiritual. There's nothing spiritual about Christianity. There never will be. Praying is not spiritual. Praying is a mental thing that helps you cope, and it gives you hope on whatever hardship or struggle you're trying to get through. That's all it does. It's a mental thing that helps you temporarily. That's why you do it so much, because you temporarily need help. You say, God, give me strength to pass this test. God, give me strength. People are asking God for so much. And then they say, we don't ask God for anything. We just want His wishes. We just want His wishes. If you use logic in life, you'll get further than religion. Bye.